And just like that, you're live.
I am live. Good. Welcome to the Break It Down Show. I'm Jon Leon Guerrero, host of your Break It Down Show. Our guest today is Jeff Trager, the one and only. He's been a radio promoter who broke a lot of acts in the Bay Area. He was also instrumental in the growth of acts like Ike and Tina Turner, to name just one, but Confunction Records, Cameo Records. He worked a lot of soul records. He goes back to when Sly Stone was a, a radio DJ and air personality on KSOL, which predates his musical career. So Jeff's been around for a long, long time. He is now the purveyor of live music in the Bay Area, which makes him somebody I really like. Now, he's somebody I really like anyway. I consider him a very dear friend. I'm very lucky to have him as a friend. His ability to navigate directions, not that great. His ability to use the Maps app on his phone, probably also not that great. But the lucky thing is we are here at the Escape, which is a place that is musically friendly. I'm going to tell you about the Escape while we wait for Jeff, because he can be here at any moment. But when he gets here, we're going to talk about the venue that he books. I should say the venues that he books, which include the Empress Theater, the lovely Empress Theater in Vallejo, California. Also, Vino Godfather, which is a terrific winery and music venue on Mare Island. For those who know Vallejo history, I don't know if they even call it Mare Island. It's just part of Vallejo now. But it's part of a great entertainment complex that includes have you been to that? I'm going to talk to my co-host off the screen here, Doug Marcos. Doug, have you been to the bourbon place out there? Yeah. Oh, yeah. We went there last weekend. Yeah. So last weekend we had the pleasure of watching Jeff Campitelli and his band Camp Jeff, which included Jeff Tamalier on guitar. Man, the great Jeff Tamalier on guitar. Angeline Saris on bass. She's amazing. And of course, Jeff Campitelli on the drums. They had a keyboard player whose name now escapes me because I don't know him very well. I've only met him a couple times. So, but we had with us Vallejo's own Derek Jones, who was in town visiting us. He works in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand Hotel for the Cirque du Soleil show known as Ka, which is an absolute spectacle of a show. The great thing about the venue was that, Derek, as a musician, he plays 2 shows a night, 5 nights a week. In Ka, he's played something in the neighborhood of 7,400 shows. And, when a guy does that for a living, he still likes to go see live music, except that it's much better to see live music in a great environment. So here's what Vino Godfather does right. It's on the lawn. It's in a beautiful setting. The area, when the weather's nice, you absolutely will love it, adore it, can't beat it. They have food trucks out there. So good food, good music, great atmosphere, sitting on the lawn, out in the sunshine. The weather last weekend was spectacular, perfect for music. We had wine from the Vino Godfather winery. We had, what did we have? We had tacos. Yeah, we had tacos. They have burritos, steak fries. Yeah. And then the magnificent entertainment of Camp Jeff. And man, they rocked for, yeah. Here, come have a seat, man. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, Doug Marcos, who is peering out the window with one eye just to make sure that when Jeff gets here, we usher him in. The thing about Vino Godfather that I really dug, man, just great atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
And because it's a winery and because you have that, it takes a little bit to get out there. Yeah. You don't just happen by it. You have to pop in on it. You have to deliberately get there. And when you deliberately get there, boy, does it reward you.
Oh, boy.
you know?
I couldn't even believe that place was sitting there.
Yeah, it was sitting there. And then when you get there, you walk in, the sun's shining, the music's perfect.
Yes.
It sounds fantastic.
Yes.
It just feels great.
Yes.
So we just
It
had a
was an awesome
spectacular
day.
time. So we bring Derek in there. We we eat some good food, we drink a little bit of wine. We're nice and hydrated. We're
Yeah.
out on the lawn, sun's shining, plenty of nice people. And because the place is just far enough out there and you don't stumble upon it,
Yeah.
it kind of confuses out the riffraff.
Yeah.
You know, you had to deliberately get there.
Yeah. You have to know where you're going. I almost missed it.
Yeah.
I almost laid in bed all day that day.
Yeah, you did. You did. Here's what Doug does, man. I call him. I go, Doug, what are you doing? And I do these things on short notice. I like to spring stuff on Doug.
Yeah.
I do like to spring stuff
Yes,
on
sir.
you.
Yes, you do.
So I didn't
love
tell
it.
you that Derek was in town.
No.
I didn't tell you anything.
No.
I just said, hey, Campitelli's playing at Vino Godfather.
Yeah.
To which you said,
Oh man. I just want to lay
I wish I
here.
could.
I'm
I wish I
getting
could,
old.
but I'm lazy.
Yeah.
It was something like that. It was, I know you've been training hard, so you're
Yeah.
a little bit sore.
I was sore. I'm old, man.
And then I said, you maybe edit the language, but I said something along the lines of, you should get out of bed, sir,
yeah.
and come and enjoy the day with us.
Yes. you
Isn't
said
that what I
something
said?
Like
Something
that.
like that.
A little
Except
more
a
hardcore.
few more expletives.
Yeah.
And then we show up at your house and you go to get in the front seat of the car,
Yeah.
but somebody's in it already.
And Derek pops out.
Derek Jones.
Oh
there
my
he
God,
is.
my hero.
Yeah.
So,
And
if
then
you'd
I
have told me
just,
Derek was there,
I know.
I would have never said anything about being sore and lazy, man. I would have just jumped right up and said, "Yes,
Right.
sir, I'm going."
That's right. So if Derek's there, he's going.
Yeah.
Chop liver,
No.
not so much. So, no, but we got you out of the house.
Yes,
So
sir.
we
Thank
get down
God.
there. We rock out for about, they played for
Couple
about,
hours.
yeah, they played for almost 3 hours.
Yeah,
I'd say they played for 3 hours.
at least.
Yeah. So then, we enjoy some food, we enjoy some music, we enjoy some dancing.
Yeah.
We had some friends there that we ran into. We made some new friends
Yes,
there.
sir.
So if you're interested in bringing your friends, great. If your friends are interested in the same good music, good beverages,
Yeah.
good food, great atmosphere that you're interested in, you will run into them there.
Yes. Jeff Trager was there.
Jeff Trager was there, of course. He promoted the show. But we ran into Kate and Ronnie, Amy and Byron,
Johnny Steele.
Johnny Steele was
the
there.
king of the
The
one-liners.
king of the one-liner.
Oh my God.
He was there and he was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then when we left there, I'm going to speed past the show. We'll get back to the show and stuff, talk about it when Jeff's here. But we left there and we went to, what was the name of the place we went to?
Oh, I couldn't.
It was
even-
called Cook, something in Cook.
All I know is they served great alcohol.
Bourbon.
That's all I remember.
It's a bourbon distillery.
Yes.
It's a bourbon distillery. So if you look up bourbon distillery in Mare Island, you run into it. And it's, I suck as a host of not knowing the name of that place.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah. Anyway, not only do they make spectacular, that bourbon surprised me.
Yeah, it
how
was
good
really
it was.
good.
It was fantastic bourbon. You can get a flight of their bourbons,
Yep.
or you can get cocktails there. And their I could have just sat. Now listen,
Yeah.
I was a bartender
Yeah.
in my 20s.
Mixologist.
That's right. And not only was I a bartender, but I wasn't just pulling beers. I worked at a fancy bar
Right.
where we made, and I was the Sunday brunch bartender. So I made Ramos Fizzes.
Nice.
I'm a cocktail guy.
Yes.
So we had some cocktails there.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. And the cocktails are spectacular. I could have sat there and watched the guy make cocktails all day. And I'm a first generation bartender, but my son is a bartender and he takes great pride.
Nico is the best.
I'll shout
I
out his
love
place,
Nico.
Bella Sienna, if you're in Benicia.
Oh, that's place.
It's-
It's 5 stars.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So go down there, see Nico. He's at the bar. And he will make you a magnificent cocktail too. Proud of that boy. So I could have sat there and watched that guy make cocktails
Yeah.
all day.
I could have listened to Derek Jones tell us about Sheila E. all day.
That's true too. That's true. He had great stories.
Yeah, great stories.
The thing about Derek is I hang out with Derek because he always has great stories, but it's not always about music.
Yeah.
Of course, since we have music in common, we talk about music all the time.
Yeah.
But we've known each other a long time. We went to school together. We went to school with Derek.
High
I'd say
school
we
marching band.
went to school with Derek, though. I met Derek in the 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't meet him till high school.
Okay.
Hogan High.
Yeah. Hogan High. But, because we've known each other that long, his wife, Julie, was my wife's maid of honor at our wedding.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, she's cool.
And I was at Derek's wedding. Derek's wedding.
Wow.
Derek's wedding was nice. It was a lot of musicians. It was a lot of musicians at my wedding. It was
That's
a lot
all
of
he knows.
musicians at Derek's wedding
That's
too.
all he knows.
I sat next to this guy who was hilarious, and I can't remember his name now. His name was Brad. Also a drummer. So just coincidental. I mean, it wasn't a huge coincidence that I'd sit next to a drummer at Derek's wedding. But there he was. So we were talking about drums, and so I asked him, like, yeah, you're in a band undoubtedly. And he said, yeah, I'm the drummer for Third Eye Blind.
That guy's pretty good.
Yeah,
too.
he's fantastic.
He's pretty good.
He's a fantastic drummer. So yeah, he was my seat neighbor at our table for Derek's wedding. And then
cool.
of course, at my wedding, we had a great time. Derek played. He probably played an hour and a half at my wedding. I didn't pay him.
Nice.
Yeah, but we had, we've had those life milestones together. And I remember when Derek moved out to Nashville, and when he moved to Las Vegas, got the gig with Ka and stuff. And I've seen Ka many times. So as a promotional piece, we'll shoot out the MGM Grand Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. Go see Ka. It's a Cirque du Soleil show. It's you could say it's their marquee show. Yeah. Every show of theirs is fantastic. That show is spectacular. It's been going for
17 years.
He's been there. No, he's been there.
Cirque du Soleil.
No, he's been at that show 17 years. Yeah. And
you thought it would last 2.
That is amazing. Yes, I remember him saying, hey, man, it would be great if I got 2 years out of this show. But it is a spectacle, and it's magnificent. And it's a technical marvel. So if you get a chance to see it, you absolutely will not regret going there and being.
You can look it up on YouTube now. You can watch the shows on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing.
Well, they're terrific. And Derek's great in it. And he's not only in the band, but he's actually in the show too. Like there are two times in the show where he actually takes the stage. So
in full makeup.
That
is so
and
cool.
Garb. Yeah.
That is so
it's
cool.
Amazing. And then I just want to after the show, I just want him to walk around with me.
Yeah.
Dressed like that.
In the makeup. We should have made him come here in the makeup.
That's
next time.
That's right. So every time he comes to Benicia, he comes and he plays with us here at the Escape. And we have a great time because he's such a magnificent player. But yeah, next time we'll make it a condition of him playing with us a condition of him playing with us.
He has to wear the makeup.
Yeah. So we go to the Vino Godfather.
Yeah.
We ply him with alcohol. We go to the bourbon place. That was terrific. And then afterwards we say, hey, so Doug and I have rehearsal, Derek. And he goes, oh, wow.
Who's the bass player?
kind of disappointed that he was going to have to leave us. And then he goes, who's playing bass for you guys nowadays? And we were like,
you are.
Tonight could be you.
Brother.
That's right. And I picked him up. So I was his ride home.
And we weren't taking him home.
That's right.
Yep.
So we brought him up here.
Yeah, we love
and
him.
He, as he always does, murdered.
Yeah.
He murdered the bass.
Murdered songs he's never played before.
Songs he's never played before. And you know what I've learned? You let him.
Yes.
You let him. So,
Derek, let's see what happens, Jones.
That's right. Let's just see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
So all of that is to say, if you get an opportunity to go to Vino Godfather and watch a show that's promoted by Jeff Trager, you ought to. He's going to have Camp Jeff there a few more times this year. He's also going to have a number of acts. How about, you know what? Grab your phone and look up Vino Godfather on their website. They may have a list of the shows that he's doing. You can also go to ftpresents.com. FT stands for Fraser Trager Presents, ftpresents.com, to get a list of the shows that Jeff is promoting. Now, when he throws these shows, especially now that we're in the post-COVID pandemic environment, and I say that optimistically, we're still in the COVID environment, but now that we're actually free to have live music the other thing about Vino Godfather is that you do have tables where you and your friends can gather. The friends that you know and love and hug and kiss can sit around a table, but can be socially distanced from other tables. So that's good. It's great. It's comfortable. It's safe. And you can go there and enjoy outdoor acoustics for your music and your listening pleasure. Just great atmosphere. So it's nice that he has that venue. I also want to shout out, and I don't know how many shows they're having at the Empress, but he did promote the Empress Theater as well, and he promoted the Downtown Theater in Fairfield, which is also a great theater. It was purpose built just a few years ago. It seats, I don't know how many it seats, maybe 100, maybe 200. And not a bad seat in the house. It's just acoustically great. And so let's see, who have we got?
Cut Loose, who rehearses here.
They rehearse here at the Escape. Yeah. We've got Hey Jude, Sold Out. That's going to be a good one. 3-day weekend, Papa Joe and the New Deal. Papa Joe and the New Deal. I've not seen them, but Cheryl, who was with us, our friend Cheryl was with us. I'll also shout out Cheryl and Sharon, who came out.
Oh, yeah, they're cool.
And enjoyed the show. Yeah.
Here's the big one, Pepino.
Oh, Pepino D'Agostino. He's there on May 14th. Definitely go check that out. Pepino is amazing and my neighbor.
And world famous.
World famous. Yeah. He sells records everywhere.
You know why.
He's a virtuoso and a kind soul and a wonderful entertainer. He's great. Bell Brothers. Dude, April 2nd, the Bell Brothers. If you guys haven't seen the Bell Brothers are terrific. So, mark your calendars for all that stuff. Go to vinogodfather.com. Check out their website for their calendar. And also check out, you got a fan.
Yeah.
You should check out whatever's going on. If you like live music, I guarantee that whatever act you love is an 8 in another room and a 10.5 at Vino Godfather.
Yes, sir.
That's how I feel about it.
The sound is unbelievable.
That's how I feel about it.
And the atmosphere.
Also, I'm not ashamed to say I sort of lured Jeff here. I hope he shows up pretty soon here. I hope he's not too lost. Because I lured him here to do a 5 o'clock podcast because we have rehearsal at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. And I shaved my legs and everything.
Oh, man. All right.
Well,
you might get somewhere. Tonight in our rehearsal, one of our bass players, we have rotating bass players in our band. And I'm happy to say all of our bass players who rotate are fantastic. Among them, like we said, Derek Jones. Tonight's bass player is the one and only Grammy-winning.
2-time Grammy. Didn't he win 2 Grammys?
I don't know. He's probably got, who knows, man. This guy is a musical genius. And I don't say that lightly. Carlos Reyes, who's known for his violin playing and his stylings on the harp of all things.
Yes.
But
he recorded with the Doobie Brothers on the harp. Before
he played those instruments, he grew up playing the bass, and he's the old school funkster from the Bay Area. So from the biggity biggity.
Yes.
He's from Oakland. He studied with Dr. Bell at Castlemont High School. Wow. That was a renowned jazz band.
He was a child prodigy.
Prodigy. Castlemont High turned out not just Carlos, but the musical talent that came out of there. Tommy McElroy. From Foster and McElroy, who was responsible for En Vogue. He was the keyboard player in Club Nouveau, produced those records, produced records for Boyz II Men. Just fantastic and a great guy and a fantastic fighter too.
Oh, wow.
Man, that guy can fight. He's terrific. Anyway.
I didn't know that.
Castlemont High. Also there with Carlos, I believe they were there at the same time. Will Kennedy from the Yellow Jackets went to Castlemont. Dwayne Wiggins from Tony.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah. Dwayne and Ray went to Castlemont. So so did Carlos. He's one of our rotating bass players. Should we shout out our rotating bass players? Let's keep some surprise, because Stacy Starkweather, who played with us last season, he will be back. And we love Stacy.
Love you, Stacy.
So he's great. But his own band, The
Suspects
Suspects of
of
Soul
Soul.
is a fantastic band,
Yes,
and they're
and they're
back
back.
together.
They're
So
back
we're glad to
together.
hear that.
And they'll be playing
As
Empress.
much as we hate to lose Stacy as our bass player all the time,
We're so happy that
we're
he's doing it, though.
elated that Suspects of Soul are
Yes,
back. Because
They should be.
yeah,
They should
I
be
have
together.
their CD in my car,
Right on.
in the deck right now. So, yeah, Stacy's guitar player in that band, Jason Stewart. He and I were musical co-collaborators years ago. He was in my dad's band,
Really?
and he and I were the young guys
wow.
in my dad's band. So we would, you know, be trolling for chicks and whatnot.
Nice.
That was fun.
I told your dad he
to
should
do.
get his band back together.
Well, yeah, his band is always sort of together.
They just get together and
Yeah,
jam.
yeah. They just do it at their leisure because his band, really, it's him and he and my uncle Andy, who is my dear Uncle Andy, just celebrated a birthday. He's not really my uncle, but he's my dad's best
Yeah.
homeboy and musical collaborator for
Yeah.
so long that he's
your
more
uncle.
my uncle than anybody else.
Yeah, he's your uncle.
And they get together whenever they feel like getting together.
Right
And
on.
their musical, I mean, they're like the Lennon and McCartney of
Yeah.
their band. They're never musically separated. They have a shorthand that is,
Yeah.
they have a
6
shorthand
years
that is
to build.
65 years
Yeah.
deep, So they started playing together when they were too young to play at the bars that they played at, and they had to get on stage from the back and
Yep.
do all the things like, okay, on a break, dude, you gotta stand outside.
Back out to the alley.
Yeah.
And wait.
So my affinity for bass players came from my Uncle Andy because he's a bass player, bass and sax. So he plays strings and sax just like you did.
Nice.
And let's see who else. Oh, well, you know what? There are probably some bass players that we should not yet mention because they are not yet. We know they'll play with us, but they haven't done it yet. They're not yet committed.
Yet.
Yeah, right. But the one that I'm really, really excited about, who I already know is going to play with us, is Bobby Vega.
Oh wow,
Dude,
that's incredible.
Yes, he's a legend.
He's a legend.
He was the bassist after Larry Graham for Sly and the Family Stone.
That's pretty cool.
And he was 16 years old.
Yeah, 16.
So now he's a little older than 16, and all that did
And
was season his amazing
he's
playing.
Even better now.
Yeah,
Man.
he's ridiculous.
killer.
He's ridiculous. His command of the instrument.
Yes.
Just watching him play bass, you just go,
I need to go home and practice. That's what he makes me feel. Same with Stacy and Carlos. They make me want to go home and practice.
Or come here and practice.
Yeah.
To the Escape.
To the Escape.
Come to the Escape.
We have it made.
Practice at the Escape. We do have it made here. So, yeah. Shout out to Andy Brunt, who put this place together. Look at this joint.
Our boss, Andy.
Look at this joint.
Yes.
It's beautiful here. Anyway.
Oh, we're so spoiled. Thank you, Andy Brunt.
Yeah, we are
Ruben,
very spoiled.
We love you guys. And Denise, don't forget Denise.
Yeah. Denise is the matriarch of this place.
Yes.
She sort of keeps it.
She's our muse.
She also keeps us from being dudes.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, enough with the dudeness.
Yes,
you got to take it down a notch.
Yeah.
Let's mellow out. Let's make it. And you know what all that does is make it so that when the ladies come through here, they're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this place is nice.
Yeah.
So
these guys aren't too bad.
I dig it. Yeah.
She makes us look good.
There's a lot of hot chicks that come through here too.
Oh my God.
Last Saturday night, this place was filled with hot chicks.
And it was a rehearsal.
Yeah.
That's our rehearsals. They turn into crazy parties.
That's right. My wife was here. Hot chick.
Yes.
Also other hot chicks. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna look at my wife.
Yeah. I don't want to mess up my chords.
Yeah.
So I just try to
I'll say
on there.
I don't want to mess up my chords all right. So anyway, our guest today is the one and only Jeff Trager. Who's not here.
Yeah, where is he? That's why you see me.
I sent Jeff Trager about, I'd say it was probably about 1:30 today. The address.
And he's still not here.
No, he called Pete earlier today. Maybe an hour ago, and said, Pete, what's the address to this place?
Really?
Yeah. I don't have an address, but I sent it to him. So
oh man.
Not only did I send
Google
it to him,
Maps,
I sent it to him and he replied, okay.
Yeah.
So I know he got it. So he's around there. Hopefully he's not terribly lost. And hopefully he shows up and says, I'm so sorry. I was hungry. And so I stopped, and I thought while I stopped, you know what? I should pick up food for everybody.
Yes. I'll take
So,
a cheeseburger right
yeah.
about now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cheeseburger. Yeah.
So if you're out there, Jeff.
Yeah, tuna and olive on rye. Double the tuna. I
Nice.
need the lean protein. And let's see, that's something they ought to have at Vino Godfather, but they don't. Currently at Vino Godfather, they have a taco truck out there. It's a gourmet taco truck.
Great taco truck.
Their tacos are fantastic. Marinated chicken, everything. They got carnitas.
Yeah, you're breaking training on that taco truck.
Yeah, man. But you don't have to. You can eat as nutritious as you want to. You know, everything that's there is the stuff that you see at, you know, the finest Mexican restaurants. So if you want to go for it and get enchiladas that are slathered in sauce and
love it
and swimming in cheese, you can do that.
Yeah.
Or you can get, you know, a nice marinated chicken taco. Salsa it up yourself. I ate one of those jalapenos. Those jalapenos were hot. Magnificent. Yeah. It was helping me drink wine a little bit.
Yes.
So anyway, the whole point of today was to promote Fraser Trager Presents.
Yeah.
Even though Jeff's not here, we're going to make fun of him.
Yeah.
We'll make fun of him. He has got great stories. And he is about, I'd say you guys are maybe the same size.
Yeah.
Right? How tall are you?
He's a little fella.
Yeah. You're
5'7", 5'6".
Yeah,
5'7" on a good day.
So maybe Jeff Trager was 5'7"
Yeah.
when he was at his full young height.
Yeah.
He's got a few years on him. So, you know, he's the point of this story is that at one point he was the bellman at the Jack Tar Hotel, which is a legendary hotel in the city on Van Ness Avenue. And it was, you know, it was a fancy hotel. So a lot of fancy people stayed there.
Yeah.
Jeff being the bellman, he met a lot of people. And one of the people that he met who stayed at the hotel was Wilt Chamberlin.
Wow.
And so when Wilt Chamberlin got traded to the Warriors, he had a friend here.
That's cool.
And it was Jeff.
That is cool.
So they became homeboys. Now, whenever Wilt had to go on the road with the team, he would say, Jeff, I need you to look after my stuff. So he became Wilt Chamberlain's roommate.
Wow.
He shared a house with Wilt Chamberlin. He at 5'7" shared a house with Wilt Chamberlain, who was probably 7'20".
Yeah. I think he was listed at 7'2".
Yeah. And so he was the only person who Wilt let drive his Rolls Royce.
Wow.
Which meant that every time Jeff got in it,
he had to
scoot the seat up about 3 feet. And
Wilt drove from the back seat.
Yeah. But he drove, I mean, he had to get a Rolls Royce so that they would custom make it so that it would have the
leg
distance. Yeah. And so they essentially shared a Rolls Royce.
Wow, that's cool.
From the seat being back here to the seat being up here when Jeff drove it. And, you know, they had this house up on Twin Peaks. They had, it was Wilt's
pad. Yeah.
Wilt had a house up on Twin Peaks with like 12-foot front doors, you know, double doors, big castle doors that were 12 feet, and the ceilings were all soaring.
Yeah.
And here's a little bitty Jeff, probably like, you know, 56-inch countertops that were up here. You know, Jeff's doing a chin up.
He's trying
to wash the dishes. Yeah. But yeah, to be housemates with Wilt Chamberlin opened a lot of doors for him. He, of course, got into the music business as a radio promoter. He was an independent radio promoter, but he worked for a lot of labels, to include, you know, the labels back then. They had, I mean, this was even pre-Arista. So there was like, you know, ABC Dunhill. Yeah. He did records for them. In fact, there's a really famous story about ABC Dunhill seeing an act and eventually turning it away, and Jeff protesting, like, what are you guys doing? Yeah. You know, and they said, it's just not the act for us. We don't know what to do with it. And he was like, I know what to do with it. And they were like, yeah, that's great, Jeff, but you know, just not our cup of tea. And it was Santana.
Wow.
So they ended up signing to CBS, and CBS won. Boy, did they win.
Yeah, they're still winning with that.
Yeah, they're still winning. So, but yeah, back then that music scene in the Bay Area, I mean, Jeff knows
bananas.
all those guys from back then, Herbie Herbert and those guys. And like I said, he had been a radio promoter when the DJs that he'd visit to get radios broken on the air included Sly Stone.
Yes, sir.
At the legendary KSOL. So, storied career, great guy, wonderful dude.
Wish he was here.
Yeah, wish he was here. Yeah, I'm sure he'll roll in at some point. You met him several times, haven't you?
Yes, I have. When I met him on Saturday, he thought I was a homeless guy and was going to ask him for money or something. He's like, whoa.
He's a little skittish.
Huh.
I see.
So I did hit him up for a couple dollars.
Oh, okay.
And everything was
cool.
Good.
He looks like he's looks like he's able to take care of himself. Like if you hit him up for a couple bucks, he might forcefully say no.
Yeah, he might. Yeah.
I don't know.
He might hit you. Who knows?
I don't know. I'd like to see it happen.
Yeah.
I like to see somebody. I'd like to see somebody test him.
Nice.
Not really. But he promotes acts around here now, and he's just a force.
He's a good dude.
He's a force for good,
yeah,
and a force for live music, which we need a lot of.
Yes, now that it's back.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff, for sticking it out and being there the whole time. Chariots of Fire, he made a hit.
That is crazy.
He pretty much single-handedly took that record and went, no, this deserves to be heard.
Yeah.
And made that song a hit. And because the song was a hit, really got the movie a lot of attention and ended up winning an Academy Award.
Yes, sir. Was that like 82?
Yeah, 81, 82. Sure. Yeah, that sounds about right. Man.
Yeah, I love that song too.
Yeah. It's a very memorable song. Huh. Also, Keith Jarrett. Do you know anything about Keith Jarrett?
Oh, it sounds familiar.
Improv piano player. He would sit down and just improv a whole album and it would be smoking.
Nice.
Oh, and now his kid plays piano and he's out there and amazing. But yeah, he had a lot to do with Keith Jarrett and, acts like that, man, that were just acts that most promoters, it didn't fit their formula.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I don't care about the formula. When I hear something good, it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm going to take it. So
when it's good,
he did a lot of that. Here, you ad lib for a second. I'm going to check my phone and make sure that Jeff isn't calling me.
Yeah, man. Sorry, you have to look at me today, people. I'm usually behind the computer.
Uh-huh.
But since Jeff isn't here, I'm sweating it out up here with Johnny.
Yeah.
We
both have a face for radio.
So hope the check is in the mail, Pete.
That's right.
Shout out to
it is
executive producer
Pete A. Turner.
Pete A. Turner.
You got to say it like this. Pete A. Turner.
Pete A. Turner.
Yeah.
He's my hero. I love Pete.
Yeah.
Pete's a good dude.
He's pretty lovable.
I'm glad I got to meet
He's
that
pretty
guy.
lovable. Yeah. I've been in situations with Pete where we didn't smell too good. And when you're in the foxhole, good dude to have in a foxhole.
No doubt. He carries a go bag everywhere he goes.
I remember
He's always ready.
I think not the first night I met him. The first night I met him, he had just come back from the sandbox. He had been in Iraq or Afghanistan or whatever for 11 years.
Wow.
And he came back here, or he had been away from Benicia for 11 years.
Yeah.
And however much of that time he spent over there it was most of it.
Most of it was there. Yeah.
And when he came back, I remember we lived right downtown, and my wife came home from work and said, "Hey, let's go." And I was like, "Let's go where?"
Yeah, where we go?
Pete's in town. We're gonna go see Pete. And I was like, I don't know who Pete is, but we're going out.
Yeah.
And it's Tuesday. So we went out. It was Tuesday. And we went to this Mexican joint because I like Mexican joints.
Same.
And everybody was there. It was like a class reunion, really. Everybody's having a good time. But invariably, the class reunion breaks out into its fun. And these class reunions here in the small town of Benicia, California, they're not infrequent. So everybody, knows how to have a good time, and they were having a good time. Well, here comes Pete, having been gone for 11 years. Everybody welcomes him back, but he very quickly finds himself on the fringes of that part. That party's happening, whether
Yeah.
he's in it or not.
Yeah.
So he decides to step back and just kind of observe it because he hasn't seen
That's
these people
Pete,
in
yeah.
11 years.
Yeah, that's Pete.
And the other person sitting back and observing, just because, you know, I was busy with a chimichanga or something, was me. So I ended up meeting Pete that night. And then it was the two of us kind of sitting off to the side going, so what are you up to?
Wow.
Yeah. So we got to know each other that evening. As we were doing that, I'm probably told this story on the air a couple times, but bear with me. So as he was doing that, he said, yeah, you know, I've been out there, I've done a lot of things, and started to regale me with the stories of the sandbox. So I said, hey man, at the time I had a radio show.
Yes, sir. Yep.
At KZCT, Ozcat Radio, Vallejo, California, 89.1. We were on Wednesday nights from 6 to 9 o'clock, me and Nico.
Oh, I didn't know Nico was in.
Yeah. So I went and did a show with James Early. His mom has a show on Sunday nights called Mama Knows.
Wow.
And it's just an excuse for James and his mom and
Yeah.
his brother Jacques to just spend Sunday nights together.
Great James Early.
Oh, yeah. So one day at the time, he was my Kempo student.
Yep.
And he said, hey, my mom wants you to come and be on this radio show.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I don't know if I'd be any good at it.
The voice.
So
the golden voice.
I did go down there. I was on her radio show. We had a fantastic time. The phones went crazy.
Yeah.
So the owner of the radio station came in and said, what is going on here? And why is my phone going bananas?
Yeah.
And so we met, shook hands, and he was like, I know you from somewhere. I said, I know you from somewhere too.
Yeah.
And what do you do? Well, I'm a singer. Blah, 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 blah. I said, I play the drums. We put together that I had done a gig with his band years ago. I just subbed one time, and I did a rehearsal and played a gig with them. And so we, touched base on that. And then later on, he said, man, this is really, really good. Like, he went back to being a listener, and we went back to the show, and we were just taking listener questions about community stuff.
Yeah.
At the time we had a youth organization, and we were just doing stuff. And he came back after the show was over, and he said, hey man, I got a slot on Wednesday night.
Nice.
Would you be interested in doing a radio show? And at the time, my son, Nico, who's a bartender at Bella Sienna, if you're downtown in Benicia, go see him. He's at the bar. I don't know,
Good
Thursday,
kid,
Friday,
too.
Saturday night. He does okay. He does okay.
Yeah.
My aim for the show, I said, I'll take that show if I can bring my kid, because I got a kid who's painfully shy.
Yeah.
And I just want to
Really?
put him in front of a microphone and just like let him work it out.
Yeah.
So he
He
said,
worked it out because he's not shy.
yeah, no, he's okay.
anymore.
He's okay. But really, that was a
Wow.
catalyst. So I said, if I can bring my kid,
Yeah,
I'll take that slot.
that's cool.
So what I would do was I would get on, and what I didn't tell him was that I had been a DJ for 9 years with Sousa Sounds. If you're from Vallejo, you know Sousa
Yes,
Sounds.
sir.
So we got on there and we played a lot of funk, and we talked a lot of smack.
Yes.
And then I would have Nico. At first I said, Nico, I need you to pick 8 songs that you like, and we're going to play them at 8 o'clock. It's going to be Nico's 8 at 8.
Nice.
So we did that for a couple weeks. Hey, here comes Nico's 8 at 8. So he'd play the songs. Then at some point, couple weeks into it, I said, Nico, here's how you introduce a song on the radio.
Yeah.
So you say, this next song is by, and back then it was like, what songs were out that? It was like Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
Yeah.
The Thrift Store song.
Yeah.
Was one of them. That was just one of, there that, and there was like some songs by the Black Eyed Peas or whatever.
Love that.
So then it was like, you got to introduce the songs.
Yeah.
So then he got used to introducing the song. And then it was, all right, what do you like about this song?
Nice.
Oh, I like the beat. Okay. So when you
There you
introduce the song, say, I picked this song because I really like the beat.
Yep.
Here it is.
Good enough for me.
So little by little, I just got him on the mic. I coaxed him onto the mic, and then it all worked out.
Yeah.
But while we had that radio show, I tell Pete, hey, man, if you're not doing anything on Wednesday night, come do this radio show with me,
Come
man. It's
tell
fun.
some of those stories.
And you know what he said to me?
What did he say?
I have a degree in mass communication.
Wow, of course he does.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
So I said, well, then you should come do this radio show with me. So he did. He comes on, he does the show. And while we're doing it, he just, he tells stories. He has a great time. Somebody's at the door and it's not Jeff Trager.
No, it's a mechanic for Andy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, Andy will get it.
Yeah.
So, he's dropping off Audrey's car.
Yeah.
So he comes on the show and again, the phones go crazy.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the show, I say, well, Pete, that was fantastic.
We got to do it again.
Yeah. Anytime you want to, what I said was, anytime you want to come on the show, I got a seat for you. And what he said was, I ain't got no job. I just got back. I just got back.
Yeah.
I just got back from the sandbox.
Yeah.
I'll see you next Wednesday.
Nice.
And so he just started showing up every Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we would rock the house.
Yeah, you guys
and then
have great chemistry.
I would play some funk and he would play some, and we would just kind of riff on whatever. Then we'd have these theme nights. Like, let's go back to our junior year.
Nice.
And we'd talk about the songs and talk about the chicks, and talk about the, moments that these songs gave us. And then eventually, James Early came to visit us at the show because he was a frequent guest. And he said, you know what? We're kicking you guys out of here. Yeah, this audience is not big enough.
Yeah.
You should get out there and do something. So we said, okay, because we had this idea brewing and we said, we're going to start a podcast.
Yep.
We're going to call it the Break It Down Show. And we'd like you to be on
you
it.
guys started as the Pete and John show.
Yeah, that's right. The John and Pete. It wasn't yet the Break It Down Show.
Yeah.
It was just John and Pete. And there was a
but you had
we had a theme song that
pre-Corey's
theme song. We had a theme song that was written and recorded by Michael Cologne.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And it was just John and Pete. John and Pete.
I thought that was Corey too.
Dude. No. And we so yeah, we had a good time doing that. And James said yes. So our first guest number one. Yes. Of course, we're deep past 1,000 now. We're around 1,200 something.
Jim's been on a couple times now.
We're and make no mistake, we're at 1,200 something because I've done 300 shows and Pete's done 950 of them.
Yeah.
So he's doing the heavy lifting. But back then we had James was our first guest.
Yes.
Our second guest.
To that show, people, because that's a great episode.
It is. It's a fun episode.
You guys started off on
reposted
fire.
It recently, and it was fantastic. So there was that. Our second guest was a guy named Jay Lamb, who started the Lemons racing circuit.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and he was a great guest. We did that show in the backyard of the Ryan's house in Danville. We were handymen who maintained their house, and we were like, "Hey, we have a podcast. Can we do it from your backyard?" And they were like, "Do whatever you want." So we sat in their backyard. We had a podcast with Jay Lamb. That was terrific. Our third guest.
Yeah, who's the third?
I might screw this up, but somewhere in this mix, were the first few guests. Our third guest, I want to say, was Derek Jones.
Oh, there you have it.
Yeah.
Full circle, people.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like we're just a handful of episodes. We've already had 2 bass players.
We're chugging.
I want to say, no, he didn't show up until episode 69.
Really?
Yeah, I had to chase him down.
That's a great episode also. People look it up. Rich again.
Our fourth guest was Jason Mcenroth. He was the drummer in the Blue Man group.
Yes. Yeah.
And had been the drummer in the Henry Rollins band.
Yes.
Just a fantastic drummer, great guy, Sacramento freelancer for anybody from the drum corps world. He was a freelancer. And
very versatile.
Yeah, he's just a great guy. Passed away from, I want to say, pancreatic cancer. But man, just a fantastic dude.
He was a gorilla.
Yeah. We're still in touch with his son, who just pings us every once in a while. If you're listening to this show and you're considering making an appearance on the show, I'm going to encourage not only that you do it for whatever you're promoting. Of course, we'll help you promote it, but for posterity,
Exactly.
because we have a few guests who are not with us anymore.
Yep.
And from more than one of their family members,
Sure,
we've
their
heard,
kids. Yeah.
hey, sometimes I just go listen to my dad's episode because
That
you
is-
have him on there and he's talking about his favorite subject.
Yes.
And to hear him, just be vibrant and
Yeah.
excited and talking about his favorite subject, it's really something magical to keep for posterity. And
Exactly.
and you should do it. Well, you know what? We did this in order to promote Fraser Trager Presents,
Yep.
Vino Godfather, and Jeff Trager, and celebrate the life of our dear friend Jeff Trager, who's a great guy. He's not here. I'm going to button up the show, and I'm going to say we're going to wrangle Jeff and bring him in here, and we'll do this again.
Yes, it'll happen.
So yeah,
And we'll get Carlos Reyes, who's also done the show before. We'll get him on.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's
Yeah.
the thing. That's how I met Carlos.
Through
Was Jeff brought him to my house?
Wow.
Yeah.
Just
So
brought him to your front door.
brought him to my house, and
Nice.
and then you know what I did, because you know what I do.
Yeah.
I want to say I made him some pork.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that night we
You
had
gotta
pork
feed him,
chops.
keep him happy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man. You know what? Yeah, we did that. Some of the highlights of the Break It Down show, if you guys are just going through and listening to the Break It Down show, for Larry Batiste and Claytoven Richardson,
Nice.
I made country style ribs and I slow roasted them for about 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we did the episode and then we tore those ribs up
Nice.
and they were fantastic.
You fed Rich again too.
Of course I fed
You fed
Rich.
Rich.
He feeds us every time we go to his house. I
Yes.
gotta feed him. I mean, that's our cultural tradition. We have to feed each other.
Nice.
So he always throws down. He throws down the chili.
Yeah, he makes it himself.
But yeah,
He brought it to your Christmas
for our
party.
listeners from the culture, I made him red rice, and I think I barbecued a tri-tip.
Nice.
Yeah, we had a good time. Finna Denny, for anybody who loves Guamanian food. I made him Calaguin. That's what we do. Cam Parridge.
Cam Parridge. He's a beast.
Dude.
Oh, I love Cam.
I broiled a salmon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Capers, lemon slices. Yeah, we tore that salmon up.
Oh, he's such a great guitar player.
He is fantastic. He's a magnificent guitar player.
One of the best.
Yep, absolutely. So tasty.
Yeah.
He is really. I'm thinking it through, and I'm thinking about really great guitar players.
Yeah.
He is absolutely one of my
Cam,
favorites.
when I saw Cam, I went home and practiced.
Yeah.
That's what he made.
That's what you do.
That's
You go,
what you do.
oh, I gotta
go home and practice, man. I need to practice more.
Yeah.
This guy's a beast.
He is. He's
And
magnificent.
he doesn't even know it. He's
Yep.
like, yeah.
Yeah. He's the kind of player who is, there's those people you meet that are so sharp and witty that no matter what happens, they speak sparingly, but they always just say the perfect thing. And that's what he does on guitar.
Yes, sir.
He lays back.
Yes.
He just creates a little tapestry for you to sit on.
Yep.
And then every once in a while, he'll just say something and it'll be so damn meaningful.
Yeah. That's what he did.
Yeah.
That's how it made me feel watching him play.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
So, yeah, but we've had a lot of great Break It Down show meals.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of great guests.
Yep.
World-class musicians, actors, directors, you name it.
Yeah.
Break It Down show does it all.
That's right. We
Thank
do.
you, P.A. Turner.
So today, our guest wasn't.
Yeah.
We'll have him back on again though. Was Jeff Trager, and
I am not Jeff Trager.
no, he is Doug Marcos. Today, my co-host. Thanks for crashing, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for answering the call.
That's what I do, brother.
Yeah, I guess you do when you're not complaining about being sober.
Yeah, when
you
I'm
do
not
answer the
complaining
call.
about being old, man.
But yeah, this will be it. We're gonna button up the show. Go to ftpresents.com. Check out the shows that are coming this spring. This was a trap to lure Jeff Trager so that he would be here for our band rehearsal because we know he's going to love us when he hears us. So you'll see us on that calendar as well. I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
going to call it out.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
I'm willing it into the universe. And if you haven't already, go to the Uncommon Wealth Facebook page.
Yeah.
And like the page, and you'll get our calendar as well. We're back at it this
Yes, sir.
spring.
A lot of
We'll be
surprises.
playing in Benicia. We'll be playing in Vallejo. We'll be playing in Danville, Alamo. Just the nice places.
Yep.
And who knows, maybe some wineries.
Yeah.
Also Martinez. We'll be playing in Martinez. So come check us out. Thank you very much for being here on the show. This is Doug Marcos. I'm Jon Leon Guerrero. Good night.
Hey, thanks for watching the show. I really appreciate it. Right here, you can subscribe. Please do that. It makes the show grow. Hit that notification bell so you know which incredible guest is coming up next. Down below is the PayPal link. You can put a small subscription in. That is an enormous help. All that money goes right back into the show. And then right up over here are the next episodes you should listen to, curated by yours truly. Thank you so much.